I officially failed at travel vlogging.
Buenos dias and welcome. Today we are in Bogota. Today we are getting lost in Cali, Colombia. We have just arrived in Quito, Ecuador. We already got on the wrong bus. This is not a good sign. All right, we're gonna have to change our plans a little bit. Today we are going to be trying to get to Honduras. All right, we've made it to Kyiv. Today is gonna be one of our toughest days so far.
All right, fuck it, let's just go.
But before I talk about this travel vlogging thing that I ended up failing, I kind of want to talk to you about where it started, because the beginning was one of the best parts for me. It was when I first started kind of discovering travel. And for this trip, I went to Costa Rica and Nicaragua. And the reason why I went there was because I originally got inspired by a really good friend of mine at the time, Justin, who kind of scratched that travel itch that I knew that I never had. He found a way to inspire me. And so I went down to Costa Rica and Nicaragua and had this incredible trip. I stayed at hostels, I did tons of adventures, went through some of the jungle in Costa Rica, went surfing on beaches, hiking in mountains. And in Nicaragua, I ended up doing the volcano boarding just outside of Leon. And I was just having incredible experience after incredible experience, meeting some of the most amazing people in random hostels across Central America. And throughout the trip, of course, I was taking pictures, I was taking videos, I was sharing a lot of my experience just with my friends on Instagram. And that was kind of the beginning. That's where I dipped my toes in and got inspired. And then I did some trips after. And one of the biggest standout trips that really kind of put me into the next step, that really pushed me to do something more than just share on Instagram and share with my friends, was my trip in Vietnam. And it was the exact type of trip that I'd always dreamed of doing, always dreamed of sharing, of documenting, of creating a video. And that was when I decided to motorbike across Vietnam. I wanted it to be tough. I wanted it to be challenging. I wanted to create stories with this trip. I wanted to make it hard. I didn't spend a lot of money. I did it as cheap as I could. I bought a crappy motorbike that fell apart every day. I wanted it to be inspiring. I wanted people to feel the same way about it as I did when I first discovered it for myself. I wanted to share that excitement that I had, feel that energy that I had when I was first beginning this trip, when I was first deciding to film it and share it. It made me feel absolutely energized. And one of the things about it was I actually waited almost 6 months after the trip to actually edit it, to actually build the stories, to actually share it. And in that time frame, I'd spent a lot of time telling stories about Vietnam, sharing with my friends kind of what happened and building out and fleshing out those stories in a different way. And then not too long after, I went to Nepal. And Nepal was a fascinating trip. I also really wanted to spend time filming a documentary there, filming the whole trip. But the catch this time was that I was with 3 of my other friends. And so I was filming them all the time, and I think I definitely annoyed them a little bit, especially in the beginning. They weren't super excited about it, at least not as excited as I was about it. But just like the Vietnam trip, it was challenging, it was an adventure. It was a long trip through this country, through these mountains to high altitude, seeing incredible sights, bonding with my friends, having these wild experiences that I'd always dreamed of experiencing. And also like Vietnam, it was an experience that I didn't really share until 6 months after. I didn't create the documentaries, or I didn't create the videos until I'd really fleshed out those stories and really felt like I'd defined that experience for myself. And so with those 2 experiences kind of in my back pocket, I felt really good about it. I felt really good about this travel vlogging. I felt really good about sharing these stories and telling the world kind of about my experiences. And so I decided to change some things. And in doing so, I think I took my first step into failure here. So because I really was inspired by this, and I really wanted to do it, and I really wanted to see where this would take me, I decided to go out and get some inspiration. I was watching a lot more travel YouTubers now. I was kind of seeing what content worked, what people were making, and there was one guy who really stood out to me. You probably know him. His name's Bald and Bankrupt.
Anyway, this is Shelley Railway Station. Check it out. Should we have a look inside? That's how you should start every day of adventurising. Exploring a Soviet railway station.
And unfortunately, I have to admit, I kind of wanted to copy it a little bit. I wanted to emulate it. I wanted to see if I could find success with his style. I wanted to see if I could make it work for me, for this channel that I was trying to grow and develop. And that's where I learned some lessons. That's where things became a little bit more challenging. I tried to take his film style, his way of communicating and navigating the world, and I went to Colombia. I went to South America, and the goal was to try and film a bunch of different trips there, a bunch of different things that I could do. And the main one was this motorbike trip in Colombia. I wanted to motorbike across the entire country, filming in different cities and different locations, these ideas that I had of getting lost in Latin American cities and exploring these dangerous parts and trying to get like as much of a raw experience as I could in this country. And it was all kind of inspired from Bald and Bankrupt. It was inspired by how he filmed it, walking through with the vlog camera, talking to people, talking to the camera, exploring just this kind of free-flowing, long-form content style. And while there was some parts of it that didn't end up working for me, there was some pieces that I found success with. At the end of the day, a lot of it just didn't work for me. It wasn't a right fit for my creative outlet. I just couldn't wrap my head around the long-form content, and even when I was editing them at the time and watching them back, it was really hard for me to just focus and actually enjoy the full story that these half-hour videos that sometimes, told. But when I go back and I look at the Vietnam and Nepal series, the ones that I spent hours and hours editing, 10 to 20 hours for some of those videos, those are the videos that I can watch from start to finish and that I truly enjoy, and I truly feel like I created a fluid story that people could actually relate to and connect with. And so I failed. That was my failure. I failed at travel vlogging. I failed at travel YouTube because I started doing something that I didn't like. I changed my creative way and tried to copy something that was popular and successful, and it didn't work. It didn't work for me. It didn't make me enjoy what I was doing. And you could see it, I think. I think people can really tell when you kind of lose a bit of passion or a bit of inspiration for your creative outlet. And you can see in the last few videos I put out, they didn't get as many views. People just weren't engaged for as long. And I think it really was a reflection just of how I wasn't entertaining. I wasn't engaged. I wasn't trying to create amazing things because I really wasn't enjoying the style. But I don't want to give up. And I think that's what I want to do. I want to get back to the roots of telling the stories, of sharing these experiences in that kind of more intimate way. Also, I'm curious about anyone else who's tried these travel vlogs or travel YouTubes, whether you're small or big or whatever your channel is. I'm really curious about your story. What worked for you, what didn't work for you, what you enjoyed. If you also tried to copy popular, YouTubers or popular people to try and see if it would work for you. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say, because I failed at it. I tried to copy people and see if it would work, and it didn't. I just didn't enjoy it, and I ended up killing my own motivation and love for what I was doing originally. So I'm going to try and go back to telling my stories the way that I like to tell them, and kind of say screw it to the algorithm or screw it to whatever might be successful. I kind of just want to tell it my way, and I'm really curious. Comment, send me an email, DM me on Instagram, whatever it is. I'm really curious about other people that have tried creating stories on YouTube, especially around traveling. I'm curious to see what you have to say. But thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.